Hello, everyone, and welcome to Observations from the Fence Post. I am your host, Robert, and this is a comic book review of the series Not All Robots. This is issue number 1 of 5. Now, this series came out in August of 2021. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently here. So this is interesting in that it kind of transcends comics a little bit. This is a science fiction dystopian set in the year 2056. It's also a satire. It examines some political things of the modern age. Kind of like if you're fans of the original Star Trek series, the original series from the 60s, they got away with a lot of storytelling about current events by putting them in space. So this does something quite similar. And I'm going to go off on some trails here, but I'll bring it back to the comic. And let's go from there. Okay, strap on and let's hitch a ride here. So in the late 80s, there was a rock band that's still around called U2, and they did a documentary. And during that documentary, they were talking to the bass player, Adam Clayton, and he said that the following quote: "They say you should not mix music and politics, or music and religion. I say that's bullshit." So that's kind of similar with comics. Comics, like any books, has a right to examine current events, and that can include religion, that can include politics. This particular one delves into some politics. Alrighty, so this was published by a small publishing group called AWA Upshot. Our creators are Mark Russell, the writer, Mike Deodato Jr., the artist, and Lee Lowridge, the colorist. And I love this color. This is actually my favorite cover out of the first 5 issues. This is a homage to the Norman Rockwell painting called Freedom from Want. And I just love this. This introduces us to the main family here in the story. So, what could this story be about? It doesn't really touch on religion, but it is kind of a political satire. So let's look at some political events of the last few years. So, there was a tragic event where a man named George Floyd was killed, and that spawned a movement called Black Lives Matter. That also led to things like Blue Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, and All Lives Matter. So that was quite a big political arena there. The next thing that happened was there was some events such as the Bill Cosby scandal, the Harvey Weinstein scandal, and sexual harassment issues, and people were coming forward, ladies were coming forward. And that led to what was called the Me Too movement, where ladies were going, hey, I've got a similar story I'd like to share. Hey, I've got a similar story I'd like to share. And more of those stories were shared, and there was birthed the movement Me Too. That led to a phrase called, well, not all men. And so that is a play here with our story here, Not All Robots. Now, one of the great things about this particular issue is at the end of the issue, Mark Russell, I'll kind of touch base there. He kind of talks about his, let's see here. Yeah, right here. He talks about right here, letters from the creators of Not All Robots. And he kind of talks about how the Not All Men movement and the Me Too movement came to a story idea involving the robots here. So, all right. So what is this all about now? Now that we've taken care of some of the history going on and some of the current events going on, what is this about? Well, the first page gives us a whole lot of information. Earth is not in good shape. Mankind has created a lot of damages, and our cities are now in domes known as bubble cities. The year is 2056, and this is an example of Bubble Atlanta. As you can see, the surrounding areas look very devastated. And now society is kind of run by robots that man created. Robots do all the work. Each family gets a life kind of leisure, and the robots go to work, and each family has a robot assigned to them that comes home. And this is very interesting. So on this first page here, we have kind of some teasers here. Mandroids are going to come into the story. These are, right as it says here, Mandroids coming soon. The Mandroids are upgraded robots that are made to look like humans. So what we would call the androids here, Mandroids in this story. And another interesting thing right here is the Inhuman Resources offices. So as I said, each family has a robot assigned to them. The robots go and do the work, make the money, basically run society. The people get to do leisurely things. The humans get to be leisurely and stay at home and relax. And that's kind of the setup. But Inhuman Resources is a department where families can go to do issues involving their robot, including complaints. And what could the complaints be? Well, occasionally the robots here have glitches. And the glitches sometimes result in the robot causing harm to humans. And so they can come down to Inhuman Resources and report suspicions of that or actual events like that happening. So that's kind of the setup we get in issue number 1. So the next page, we also learned something interesting. There's a talk show called Talking Bot. And on this talk show, we have the talk show host, Crush Lord. Right there, this is Crush Lord. And another robot, speaking on behalf of robots, Slicetron. And over here, representing the humans, is a lady named Megan. And they just argue about rights, robot rights, human rights, and where the current events are, and relations between humans and robots. And that's what Talking Bot is all about. And that plays throughout the story here. Okay. We are then introduced to the Walters family. Okay. We have the dad, Donnie. We have the mom, Cheryl. We have the son, Sven. We have the daughter, Cora. And they have a personal robot who is named... Give me a second here. Razorball. Let's see if I can get a picture of Razorball. Yep, there's Razorball. Now, Razorball comes home each day after work, and he goes out to the garage to tinker with machines. And Dad tries to make sure Razorball feels welcome and treat him like one of the family. But the other family members just kind of treat Razorball like a robot. So that's kind of our setup. And here is another great page that shows some of the satire. Here is it's the introductory page that has our creators. But look at this, the Not All Robots. That is another play on a famous piece of art. This is a play off of The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. And I thought that was just greatly placed in the title there of God reaching down to Adam, the famous portrait. So that is where we set up. So this is very interesting. We have another robot here. Let's see. Razorball, one of his work partners that interacts with him, is a robot named Kilroy. So anyway, that is kind of what the setup for Not All Robots is about. Don't want to really ruin too much, but things start to get serious, okay, around some things. Right here, 4chan instead of 4chan. Okay. We've got Bubble Orlando, some stuff happening at Bubble Orlando. Right here, a couple of robots working on the environment for Bubble Orlando. And right here is a tour of the Mandroids manufacturing facility. Let's see what else we got here. And some more Talking Bot. So again, I don't really want to ruin the whole plot of Not All Robots. It's very fascinating. I think I mentioned this is issue number 1 of 5 issues. All 5 issues have been collected in a trade paperback, so you can buy the trade paperback. It's a very good overall story arc. Most of us, when we finish, were very pleased that on the last page it says to be continued. So there should be a second volume of Not All Robots, and I do look forward to it. But that is the setup for the first series of Not All Robots and a review of issue number 1. And I hope I didn't get too political. I never want to chase anyone off, but those were events that happened in our lives recently. You know, Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, the counter movements that came with those politically. And then I have a feeling, or I believe that artists have a right to explore those ideas through stories, and just like this one did. So that's my review. Thank you very much for joining me. It also may be, I don't know, this could be just kind of with the current look of things like AI technology that we're learning about in 2023. This could be a good look at the future and things we need to be careful about when it comes to AI technology and just how much we're willing to give up. So anyway, thank you again for joining me. Please remember, keep it between the ditches, and if we can, keep peace, particularly in the political arena. We can get along. We really can. Thank you again for joining me, and have a great day, everyone. Hope you join me next one. Okay, have a great day.